What is up, guys? My name is MipZ and welcome back for yet another League of Legends video. So today we're playing a champion that not only I am pretty excited about, but it's probably been one of the most highly requested champion as of lately. So thank you to Lemon Gaming, 5-Shot Espresso, and Annie the Unicorns, Link Gun, Scar Zero, Mint X, Spartan, Leslie Channel, Nadine Evans, Lucas Dulik, something I really cannot pronounce, Reject Sharama, Double was here. Yeah, they all requested this video, so this one goes out to you. And yeah, I guess you could say that this champion is definitely kind of a charming one. We are, of course, playing Ahri. So Ahri is an amazing champion. She's a champ that quite a lot of people choose, both to climb with or to help others, or just in general. She has such a good toolkit to progress through the game. Also, by the way, if you guys really like my really bad jokes, or if you really don't, then either way, you should go to my Twitch down below. Follow me there. I stream every single Friday. It's pretty fun. I have a lot of bad jokes, and yeah, it's really entertaining, or it's really chill. Should come hang out. Also, if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe right here on YouTube. But yeah, the agenda for today is basically, first of all, we'll talk a little bit about who this champion is for. Then we will be going into, and we'll basically be going into the abilities, how they work, and we'll go into every little detail that is necessary to know in order to actually master this champion. This guy's gonna be kind of annoying, I see. We're gonna be going into every single detail that's important in order to understand how Ahri works and why she works as she does. Throughout this, we'll also be talking kind of about the combos and what you want to be thinking about when playing her, like how you optimize your damage, how you make sure you hit your spells, etc. We'll go through these things, and then by the end of it, if we're missing anything combo wise, we'll talk about that. But then we'll go into, as the very last thing, how to play her in the early, mid, and late game. So this is kind of a concise guide, or concise. Is that what it's called? Concise. It's a complete guide of basically all the tools you need in order to actually master this champion. So hopefully there should be something for everybody, regardless of whether or not you're a complete beginner or something in between. Whoop, there we go. So yeah, there should be a little bit in there for everybody. But let's kind of just jump into it. Just kind of a disclaimer, I am of course playing these games live. The purpose is not to show you guys perfect gameplays in these videos. If that was the case, I would definitely not be talking and trying to explain kind of, I wouldn't say complex things at the same time, but things that requires me to think. So yeah, the purpose is definitely not to show you perfect gameplay. The idea behind these videos, just so you know, is to kind of mixture between entertainment and oh, let's see if we can get this gang in there. Okay, I thought he was gonna gank. I guess not. I'm gonna back now. This is too risky. But it's kind of a mixture in order, because personally I don't like watching these very compressed guides, because if I zone out just for a second, I'm gonna lose track. I'm gonna have to rewind in order to see it, and then it's like, yeah, I just feel like this is a better format that I really like also myself to watch, because it allows me to kind of just chill, even hear it as I'm playing a game myself, or just kind of hang back, chill and relax in the game, and just, yeah, but feel a little bit entertained instead of just feeling like I'd be like, I need to know what he's clicking now. So yeah, that's the general idea. Anyway, we'll jump into it right now. So the very first topic, of course, is like who this champion is for. And basically, if I had a friend coming to me and be like, dude, I just started playing League and I'm thinking about playing Ahri, what do you think about it? I want to play the mid lane. Then I would actually be like, yo, dude, that's not a bad idea. Ahri is a great champion. She's not only great because she allows you to, like, it's a champion that you can play basically forever if that's what you want to do. We can actually get some good damage in here on this dude. but she's a champion that her kit is fairly, this sounds kind of weird, but her kit is fairly simple, but it still allows you to really grow with it. Like there's such a big difference between how a complete noob at playing Ahri plays and uses her abilities compared to someone who's insane with her. Like there is such a big difference. But the cool thing with Ahri is, regardless of whether or not you're new or not, it's a champion that you're pretty easily gonna feel like you're okay with. Like she's the learning curve to being decent with her is very small, but the learning curve to becoming really, really good with her is a lot bigger. Let's see if we can go down here and get a gank. I think we might be able to kill this dude. I think maybe we can catch this Samira. Are you kidding me? Are you actually kidding me? If she comes forward, we just got level 6, so... But I don't think... I think Samira backed out. Is everybody backing? Okay, let's push this then. There we go. Alright. So I hope that kind of says something about that. One of the reasons why she's so good is, generally speaking, because for the first thing is that she's really good. Like, she's a good duelist. She's a pretty good 1v1 champ in lane. There's a lot of champs that she can beat by herself fairly easy because of her mobility and because of her CC. We'll talk more about that as we talk about the abilities. But even if she's in a hard matchup, then what she can play around is that she can play around shoving the lane because of her good potential to shove lanes, and then she can roam with her jungler. She's insanely good at these things, and this is something you really want to think about. Let's just make sure that we miss our cannon minion. Anyway, I hope that kind of makes sense. For those of you who are not like new players, then this is a champ that you most definitely should have in your toolkit. She is absolutely insane. Let's talk a little bit about her abilities. Her very first ability is, of course, her passive. I really want to remove this ward, by the way, but we can't. Is her passive, and her passive tells us a lot about the champion. Oh wait, there is counter gank down here. Let's hurry. Okay, nope, I'm gonna get caught in the middle if I go this way now. I don't want to get caught. All right, I'm at least just gonna damage her a lot. Back out. I have no clue why that guy went back in. But her passive actually tells us a lot about the champion, more than any of her other spells, actually. This ability was changed recently, and this is one of the reasons why I've been postponing this guide, is because, quite honestly, I knew this was kind of coming. I had a friend that told me that, dude, they're changing, making some changes to her very soon, so you should probably wait with this one. Anyway, what her passive does now is called Essence Theft, and it's pretty cool. What it does is that every time that Ahri casts a spell, then if the spell or the ability hits an enemy, then she gets one stack of Essence Theft. The Essence Theft by itself doesn't really do anything. The stacks are not worth anything until you get 9 of them. So basically, what happens, let's try and simplify it a little bit, is that you get 1 Essence Theft every time one of your abilities hits an enemy. Doesn't matter if a minion or a champion. If it hits more than 1, then you get more stacks, but only up to 3 targets. So right here, if we cast it right there, we hit 3 targets, then we get 3 Essence Theft. And even if we hit 5, we still only get 3 Essence Theft. We cannot get more. So this is something we do want to think about. All right, I think we're gonna shove this, and can you get it? Come on, Pike, you got this. Oh no, this turned out really badly. Also, I failed terribly. If I hadn't hit my Q probably here, we would have gotten at least her. But I failed. All right. It happens. Anyway, so basically whenever you cast a spell, you get an Essence Theft. If you hit more than 1 target, more than 1 enemy, doesn't matter if minion or champion, then you get up to 3. Once you hit 9 of these these essence theft. You can see them right here. Right now we have 4. They don't disappear. They just go up to 9. Once you get 9 of these essence theft, then Ahri's next ability is gonna heal her. The way this works is that her next ability then heals her depending on how many targets it hits. So ideally, if you want to get the most out of the healing, then you want to make sure that you hit as many targets as humanly possible. I can't believe I missed that. Oh, I need to help here. I don't think we can get her. That's fine. We got 1. I don't mind it. All right. So that's kind of all that thing does. So ideally, you of course do want to make sure that with your, whenever you have this essence theft, you can see it right here. Your next spell will heal her on each hit. Then you want to hit as many people as possible to optimize healing. This is the basic idea. And it's quite a simple passive. But here's the thing. It tells us a lot about Ahri because it already tells us that Ahri wants to hit as many targets as humanly possible with her abilities, because that way she gets her healing faster, and that way, well, I think we might actually just win this almost. Oh, that was a close one. Got a little closer. I think we can go here for, yeah, let's back out. Let's play this safe. All right, so that's all that one does. Our next ability is kind of the coolest one, at least in my opinion. I really like this one. It is almost as satisfying as using your ult. And this is Orb of Deception. And Orb of Deception, all this does is that it allows Ahri to throw her like basically an orb forward, and it then comes back to her afterwards. The thing with this one is that it deals damage both on the way out and on the way back. And you might think, well, how should I prioritize this? Should it hit on the way out or on the way back? Well, ideally, of course, you want to make it hit both ways. But if you have to choose, then always choose on the way back. The reason for this is basically that that the way that Orb of Deception works is that when you throw this one, then it deals magic damage on the way out. So meaning that while it's traveling to the target, and deals true damage on the way back. For those of you who don't know what true damage is, then true damage basically just means that it ignores any armor, magic resist, or other kinds of damage reduction that a target might have on them. So this is just, it just goes right through anything that they have, even abilities, which is fairly cool, to be honest. So you always want to make sure that you hit it on the way back, but ideally you want to hit it both ways. But how do you hit it both ways? Well, the best way of doing this is basically by casting it such that the orb hits the target at the max range. Whoop. I am okay. I get it. You guys want to kill me real bad.
Oh, hell no.
I get it. Chill. I'm right here. Okay, I'm dead. Rip. Okay, I felt like they really wanted me dead. But that's kind of all that thing does. Deals damage going back and forth, and you want to try and hit it at max range. Of course, if you are not able to do this, then you can do what is called redirection, or redirecting the orb. And this is that the orb always comes back to you, meaning that you can use your flash to reposition yourself, or you can use your ult for that matter. This is going to allow you to reposition, and you can also use your W for extra movement speed. We'll talk about that in a moment, to reposition and basically redirect it such that it hits the target on the way back as well. So that's also an option, but ideally you always want to make sure that you hit at max range, because if you basically if a target is standing right here and you throw your Q, it's gonna be very easy for them to dodge it on the way back, because it always travels max distance. It's never gonna travel short, so it always travels max, which means that you always want to use it at max distance if possible. Of course, if you cannot get distance to your target, then you don't have a choice, but ideally you do want to try and see if you can get some distance. All right, so our next ability is cannot believe I just missed that. Wow, I suck. Our next ability is basically this thing called Foxfire. Foxfire, whenever you pop this one, then it gives Ahri a little bit of movement speed. It gives her 40% movement speed for a brief moment. Also, it summons these 3 orbs around her that... Oh god, we're gonna lose this turret just now. We are so gonna lose this. Okay, we got at least one of them. Not gonna be able to catch the other one, but we got something. All right, let's clean this. But basically, it summons these 3 orbs around you. These orbs fly onto a target, dealing damage. If it hits the same target, then it deals everything after the first one deals only 30% damage. This is not something you need to think too much about, because the way these fly are prioritized in a certain way. The way these are prioritized is basically... You know what? No, let's actually get this first. It's basically that it will, first of all, it will prioritize any target that has been recently affected by Charm. Charm is your E. So if you've hit a target with your E, then it's going to prioritize that one. Afterwards, it's going to prioritize champions that has low HP or champions that you have recently hit. And then it's going to start prioritizing minions that are low health. And then lastly, it'll prioritize whatever is close by. So this is some of the things that you do need to think a little bit about. All right, let's get this. But that's kind of how that one works. Versus minions, it does... If the minion is below 20% health, then it will deal 200% damage. So this is something that's nice to think about. I don't really want to use my ult if I can. Okay, I had to. So this is something that's really, really nice to know. Because this means that you can use your W for... Okay, what is this dude doing? No, so close. This guy just basically killed himself. Sweet. But this basically means that you can use your W to help you farm under turret in certain situations. But that's all your W does. So pretty often... Oh, should we see if we can do something cheesy here? Okay, we cannot. I'm dead. I'm 100. I should have seen this one coming a mile away. All right, well played. Well played. Yep. That was really painful. How much did they build any magic resist? They did not. All right, we'll just keep building this then. All right. So that's kind of all the Foxfire does. But pretty often you want to use it. Kind of don't pop it instantly when you go into a fight unless you're just full all-inning. But if there is an ability that you can dodge, like let's say that you're playing against the Lux, she has her snare, you don't have your ult, then use your Foxfire when she casts her snare to get a little bit of extra movement speed to get away from her snare. That's a really good usage of it. Try to kind of think of innovative ways of using or creative ways of using this one. All right, but this brings us to our next ability, and our next ability is also a really freaking cool one. This is a big part of playing Ahri and becoming a really good Ahri player. This is our Charm. So Charm is basically where Ahri kind of blows this kiss, I think. She blows a kiss that deals damage. You can see it's basically this heart that she throws out. But it deals a decent amount of damage, but the damage is not really the reason why you cast it. Whenever you cast it and it hits a target, then that target starts basically walking slowly towards you without being able to do anything else. I cannot believe I just failed that so bad. I'm backing out of this. I missed everything. Okay, maybe we can do something cheesy here. Or nope. Nope. Well, if I can get free damage in, I'll take it. One of them being really low. I do have... I'll put down a control word just to strike. Oh, it's bad if I get hit here. Okay, so we can actually make them stop Drake. That's nice. All right, I'll go back up, get some minions here, and hopefully we'll heal up from our passive. No, they're fighting. Anyway, your charm is kind of a big part of playing Ahri, because what it does is basically that it allows... I suck right now. Wow. I'm just missing all my abilities, but I'm not taking this fight. I'm not going to risk it. Just backing out. If I can find someone somewhere where I can just one-shot them, I will. Oh, this might be good. Whoop. Let's take this. We're dealing some good damage in here. All right. Anyway, let's talk about charm. I'm sorry that we just broke that off like 4 times. But charm, all this does is it allows you to throw out or basically let Ahri blow this kiss as it hits an enemy. Then that enemy is going to start basically walking towards you very slowly without being able to attack or do anything. It's kind of like a taunt, except they won't be attacking you. With taunts, it automatically attacks you, but this, they just walk slowly towards you. The cool thing about this one is, first of all, of course, deals some damage, but secondly, and most importantly, is actually that whenever you do cast this one, then if you hit the target, then that target is going to take 20% more damage from all of Ahri's abilities for the next 3 seconds. This is super important because this means you can burst people down really, really heavily. And you can kind of do some of the things I did earlier where I'm kind of hiding in a bush, letting them walk towards me, and I can just basically assassinate them. Like, you can kind of play her sometimes as a bit of an assassin. I have to use my ult out of this. These guys are going to go all in on me otherwise. So that's all this one does. It is a skill shot and it can also hit minions, meaning that this is the harder part of it. So there are different ways of making sure that you can hit this one. And most of it comes down to hiding your intent. So hiding your intent basically just means that you don't want to just be walking up like this and throwing your E. It's very obvious to anybody that your E is coming and they'll just move out of the way. So basically what you want to do is you want to make sure that you kind of hide what you're gonna do. Whoop. Let's see if we can get some damage. Basically hide what you're gonna do such that the target does not expect it. One of the ways to do this is by looking at whenever they're going for auto attack. When they're midway through the auto attack animation, then you throw your E if you have the angle for it. Another way is basically by clearing out a minion that's in the way and just... All right, let's make sure we kill that Samira because I'm a little afraid of that one. Yeah, let's get that. Nice, good job. So far, so good. So that's also a way of doing it. It's basically clearing a minion and just as you last hit it, maybe cast your Q with something to last hit the minion and then throw your E instantly because they might not notice that the minion dies that they were hiding behind, and that way you'll be able to hit them with your E. Otherwise, you can also bait it out by basically letting them hit you, but use your ult or your W to dodge their skill shot, and then as a counter attack when they throw their thing, then most commonly people are going to leave themselves vulnerable. Then you throw out your E. Okay, so I feel like that's enough about our E. So let's talk about the very last spell that we have. This is our ult. It's called Spirit Rush. Spirit Rush is awesome. This is one of the spells that not only like it makes or breaks a good Ahri, because Ahri comes a lot down to positioning. As we talked a little bit about earlier, then Ahri really wants to hit as many targets as possible, and this is what her ult really allows her to do. Spirit Rush, what this thing can do is basically that whenever Ahri casts it, then she dashes basically a small distance, or it's actually a pretty decent distance. You can even do this over walls, etc. But you dash a small distance. When you've clicked it the first time, then you can actually dash twice more within the next 10 seconds before it goes on cooldown. In addition to this, it also gives a very good chunk of damage. All right, let's make sure that we just kind of smash this. There we go. Can we get this? Okay. Everybody's dead. In addition to this, it also deals a good chunk of damage. The way this works is that when you pop your ult, then it fires off these 3 fire orb thingies, and it hits any enemies or up to 3 enemies that are close by. It deals a good chunk of damage, and it of course does this every time you click the ult. And of course you do want to deal damage with this ult as much as you can, but the more important thing with this one is not so much the damage. Of course it is an important aspect, but if you have to choose between damage and actually repositioning with it, then repositioning is a lot more important. Like what I mean with this is that we have our Orb of Deception, or Q, that is absolutely insane. It hits so many targets, it deals true damage. So if you can use your ult to reposition such that you hit 3 or 5 of the enemy team members instead of just 1, then it's a better use of your ult. Like, it allows you to reposition it, it allows you to kite people, and it allows you to hit your... It allows you... Let's see, are they building match resist yet? They're actually not. So I'm thinking we'll buy maybe a Morellonomicon because they have a lot of healing. But it allows you to reposition and get good angles on people and force charms onto important targets. And this is what you want to play around with your ult. It's surprising people. It's so freaking good. Use it. This is what you need it for. So that's all it does. It's this dash. It's amazing. And it deals a good chunk of damage as well. From time to time, it can be a good idea if you're playing against a target that does not have any, what do you say, that if you feel like you're stuck in a fight and you can't really, like, your ult is maybe on cooldown and you feel like you have to all in the fight and you need to hit your charm, then from time to time it can actually be okay to go into melee range in order to ensure that you hit your charm. That's also a good nice thing to do. But generally speaking, your Spirit Rush, use it primarily for repositioning such that you get the most out of your Q, because your Q is your primary damage dealer. This is the insane portion of your champion, and then just utilize the damage from your ult as well. I hope that kind of makes sense. And use your ult also to dodge skill shots. You guys seen me do it throughout this game, kind of just dashing away from people. It is absolutely insane. All right, so how do you actually play this Ahri in early, mid, and late game? Well, oh my god, I forgot about that spell. Wow. Well, basically in the early game, pretty often you are going to be able to win one-on-ones. And if so, of course, go for that. But if not, then make sure that you just get your farm and see if you can roam with your jungler. Try and help out other lanes because you're insane with this due to your ult, your charm, and the range you have on your Q. You outrange quite a lot of people with this one. So make sure that you utilize that. As you get into the mid and late game, then there are different ways of doing things. First of all, let's kind of talk about what you ideally want to do. Ideally, you want to try and pick people off. This is one of the things that Ahri is really good at. Kind of like an assassin. She likes to find a target with her charm and then basically just deal a huge amount of damage to that target and hopefully instantly kill it. I actually could have gotten the kill there. Oh, that flash. Rip. I thought we could get that. So that's kind of what you want to do in the mid to late game. You want to try and look for picks. This is super, super important with her. Maybe, can we hit this? Nope. Okay, we are actually going to finish the game here, most likely. But you want to try and look for picks with her if you can. So basically using bushes to hide, trying to predict people's movement and try and catch them in rotations, but also kind of when you are grouped up that you try to find people that you can hit with your E. You saw me do it throughout this game. But with that said, once you get into kind of team fighting, team phase, so when you are team fighting, if you cannot get these picks, of course still try and find them. It's very important. But then once you get into the late game, you do just want to play a standard, more or less, mage backline. This means that you want to deal as much damage to as many people as possible from a safe distance. This means you want to try and get a position with Ahri where you can hit as many people as possible with your Orb of Deception, and that's kind of the primary purpose. In some cases, you can also, if you're strong enough for it, you can try and play her a bit more assassin style, meaning that if you see an opportunity for using your ult in over a wall or something else to assassinate their jungler, no, not their jungler, their ADC or their mid laner or something, to assassinate their backline, then of course you can also go for that. But generally speaking, you are going to play her pretty standard backline. Make sure you hit your charms on the most crucial targets. You can also not only use the charms to peel for yourself, you can use it to stop dashes. This is pretty cool. One of the things is, like, if a Pantheon jumps, if you pop your E the second he jumps with his ability, then it's actually going to stop his jump, which is pretty cool. So you can also use it to stop certain dashes. So this is really, really insane, and this is something you got to think about. But that's kind of overall what you want to do. But never underestimate using your charm, not just on the target that you want to damage, but if there's a more important target that is trying to get your ADC down or somehow is winning the team fight for them, make sure that you use your charm on that target. But yeah, I hope that you guys found this somewhat useful. I think this was a pretty decent game and a pretty fun one, so I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, then make sure to smash that like button, and yeah, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do that below, because I got a lot more stuff coming up very, very soon. But that is going to be all for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, stay awesome, have fun, and take it easy, guys.